Okay then, been away for probably my biggest absence since I started doing videos on YouTube, but back now, and this video will be about Smackdown, as the title says. And I've been just looking around on YouTube recently and seen some stuff that people have said and stuff that has annoyed me, as I put in the description. People saying that Smackdown is a worse show than Raw and it is unwatchable. Now, maybe there's an excuse for people saying this. Maybe that, people decided Smackdown was unwatchable back when it was, and they haven't noticed that it is now better, and it is certainly a better show than Raw. Raw sucks. There's no two ways about it. Okay, I've done a couple of videos on here, the Raw what is it good for videos. Generally, a lot of stuff I rant about is Raw related. ECW is the best WWE show. No two ways about it, in my opinion. And SmackDown is second. These are my reasons. Number one, there are new stars being made on SmackDown. You look at Matt Hardy, you look at... Now, Vladimir Kozlov admittedly isn't a star, but they go in somewhere with Vladimir Kozlov. He's a new guy who's getting to go out every week and show us what he's got. We've got The Miz and Morrison, who are holding a SmackDown title. I know they are technically ECW guys, but they're holding a SmackDown tag team title. They're getting themselves over a little bit with the dirt sheet. It's hysterical. If you don't watch it on WWE.com, watch it. Your opinion on The Miz and Morrison will go up. And then letting the younger guys go out there and try something. Jesse and Festus are new, and they're doing well for themselves there. We've got even Cherry is far more over than I thought she'd ever get. So Natty Neidhart is another one. So there is room to say that SmackDown is bringing more people up compared to Raw. When you look at them, who are the main guys we're talking about on Raw? We're talking about John Cena, who's been around a while, has been a main eventer for a very long time. We're talking Triple H, we're talking Shawn Michaels, we're talking Jericho, and it's all the same guys who are going somewhere in the company. At least you think with Matt Hardy with the US title, possibility maybe one day be a world champion, MVP, maybe one day be a world champion. Kennedy certainly on Raw's got a chance, Jeff Hardy's got a chance, but you know what I'm saying, there's more guys on SmackDown. So that's my first reason. My second reason, as I maybe slightly hinted to in that, was ECW. Now I think obviously ECW is going along with Raw, as I said in the last video I made, so that could be an advantage for Raw, because I think the ECW stars, they help SmackDown a lot in the fact that it helps SmackDown not become stale, because we've seen enough of this guy now, he's been on every week. Okay, let's give him Shelton Benjamin. Okay, we've used him a couple of weeks in a row now and he hasn't been getting great reactions. Let's put Kofi Kingston on instead of him then. And fortunately Elijah Burke has been reeled out the job a couple of times on SmackDown, but it's better than nothing, it's better than seeing the same old guys like we've seen on Raw again, week after week, people that they don't want to see. And basically, as I say, it just freshens things up. Every now and then when they have these big, huge tournaments for the world title, just to see CM Punk on SmackDown in one of those, or see Benjamin in one of those, it does freshen it up a bit, and there is that constant refill of stars. Apparently, and next week's SmackDown is going to be a bit with Punk and Edge, when Punk hints he might use the Money in the Bank. So again, that I don't think he will end up using it against Punk, against Edge. There we are, or certainly not when he says he will. Chavo apparently is going to be Matt Hardy's opponent for the US title at Night of Champions. So again, it's ticking it over, it's giving you new people constantly. It is helping SmackDown, and it might help Raw when it goes there. Hopefully it will. Right, the main event on SmackDown, admittedly last couple of months with Taker Edge again, and now we're going to get Batista Edge again. That is still, I hold my hands up and say it, that's a bad point about that's a bad point in SmackDown. But when you look at Raw in the opposition to their main event, how long have we had John Cena now? John Cena's been a constant since he's gone there. Apart from his time out injured, he's been a constant in the Raw main event. Triple H, there's a guy who just will not go away from the main event. He can't do it. And then who are your main eventers from there then? We got Umaga. SmackDown suffering because it hasn't got enough main eventers because the draft had ripped them off. Raw has had the same people constantly and no one is getting over, no one is getting a chance. Jeff Hardy got half a chance. He screwed himself out of that, admittedly. But think how long it took Jeff Hardy to break through like that. Think how long it's going to take Kennedy to break through like that. And that's a very, very stale main event. seen on Raw. I mean, that's been stale for like at least a year. You know, at least a year. And SmackDown's has been stale for probably about 2 months. You know, so because you've had the rotation. Yeah, we did get Taker Batista for a while, but it's been fresher a lot longer than Raw's main event has been fresh. It's one of my main bitches about Raw is how stale and boring their main event is. Anyway, I wrote them down. I'll have a look. The mid-card titles was the next one, which my mate helped me come up with. I should mention him. But yeah, the mid-card titles. This is again another view of SmackDown letting the younger guys shine, giving the younger guys time in the ring and to show what they can do. Matt Hardy, they built this up. I'd like to see what they did with Matt Hardy, do that for the world title. Maybe one day we will see that, but they did it well. When Matt Hardy won it, as much as he won it on a backlash, and it was, you know, and we knew he was going to win, but it was still, it felt like a big moment and a big win for Matt Hardy, and that was good. And you compare that to Chris Jericho winning the Intercontinental title, and you just think, whatever, you know, who cares? And if Jeff wins the Intercontinental title back, again, it'll be, who cares? Literally, who cares? We've got the tag team titles, the WWE tag team titles. They even made Jimmy Wang Yang and Shannon Moore, you know, look, genuine WWE tag team title contenders. They made it, you almost thought, well, this could make pay-per-view. This feud, it could make pay-per-view. And there's been a constant overflow. They've involved Kane and Punk, which has been fairly interesting. The Major Brothers were involved with it for a small amount of time. Deuce and Domino were involved with it for a small amount of time. And it's been okay. You know, they've added the prestige to those titles. Compare that to Hardcore Holly and Cody Rhodes. And it's like, why did they lose to Umaga and Snitsky? Why can you have had them lose to, if you're going to do this whole thing, they've lost, and you know, it's because Ted DiBiase Jr. is in their head or whatever. Why couldn't you have had them lose to Crime Time? To help put Crime Time over, while ensuring the loss, you wanted Cody Rhodes and Hardcore Holly to suffer to make it look like Ted DiBiase Jr. is in their head. But no, let's just randomly give it to Umaga and Snitsky, who aren't a tag team that are going to win the titles, hopefully. Let's just do that. It's a bit stupid, but that brings us on very nicely to my next point. The general booking of the show. It is a bit stupid, and someone else. Yeah, that's the other thing. That was going to be my defence for Raw, was that occasionally when Raw does screw up with these booking things, you can put it down to the fact that it is the A show, and they, you know, do try these rating grabbing things. Man's $1 Million giveaway, Mania, whatever he's calling it. They do try these things, and they sometimes hurt Raw and make Raw look like a worse show than it is, because they do that to try and grab his ratings because it's the A show. It's like, right, if we're going to try something, we're going to try it on Raw. When it flops, it reflects badly on Raw. Admittedly, I hope, you know, I'll say that has hurt Raw in the past. But the general booking of the show is like, what's happening on Raw? I did a video on this before. What is going on Raw? We've got Ted DiBiase Jr. against Cody Rhodes and Hulk Hogan. So we've got a feud. We've got Jericho Shawn Michaels, which has been drifting in and out as a nothing feud for a long time. And now it's like it might get somewhere with Jericho's heel turn. We might get something decent out of that. And we've got the event. JBL Cena, I don't think even stands out as his own feud, just a break off from the main event. And it sucked them and going, you know, they had another match. And it's like, it's just stuff, nothing is happening. SmackDown, we've had the stuff like Jamie Noble, Chuck Palumbo. There's an example of a perfectly good feud that got spoiled because of the fact that they won't give SmackDown pay-per-view matches. In my opinion, they should go back to individual brand pay-per-views. But the problem is with ECW, it can't have its own pay-per-view. But they need to go back to that because Jamie Noble, Chuck Palumbo, that was going somewhere. That might have been okay on pay-per-view. It didn't get pay-per-view and it whittled out into nothing, and it didn't help either one of them's careers at all. Finlay Chuck Palumbo could go the same way. We've got MVP. It's like, what's the point of feuding MVP with someone if he's not going to be able to get a pay-per-view match at the end of it? And that is one thing they do suffer from. But, like I said about Raw, the general booking of the show does seem to go nowhere, and I've praised Michael Hayes numerous times after watching SmackDown or ECW and thinking, yes, he has booked that well. But anyway, that's the last thought. People who say SmackDown is worse than Raw, go back to watching SmackDown. It's really not. Anyway, cheers.